Hey guys, this is Crab Hunter, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Woo! Today's video is going to be kind of a simple one. 2 replays from myself and a friend of mine, Bid and War, as our recent sessions in our tanks. Now this is due to the fact that I am going to be, at the time of this upload, excessively tired thanks to 3 days of reenacting and work at the military Odyssey. So I hope you enjoy this one. This game, I was in a platoon with Snake's Day, as he had recently gotten back into World of Tanks, and he had started a new account and stuff like that, so he wanted me to give him a hand with getting up the ranks a bit quickly. So, in this, I'm in my headset, top tier in a tier 4 match, driving about with the L48. Ally decides to do the usual thing in every match and shoot his allies first, just to test his gun. Which, successfully, it works. But yeah, going back to the gun, I'm utilising the L48 gun rather than the popular Derp gun. In personal reference, I always prefer this gun. I found it's a lot more effective I would find it a lot more effective than the Derp gun, but, you know, I guess it's each to their own, but in all personal preference, I find these guns to be more effective, as they can get me, more often than not, got me out of a bit of a snitch, So the enemy team has the T-46, which is spotted first. So at this point I was sort of querying, right, there isn't any tanks up north, and then a cruiser 4 appears, and the Chiha decides to actually shoot the right target for a change, and he sees what's about to happen. The M2 doesn't, and is promptly killed by artillery. So enemy rush through the center, but luckily couple of our tanks up here as well are trying to make a push. So at this point I was like, right, okay, let's just push with what we've got. If we can charge through, we'll be able to get the win. So I move forward, take a little bit of a too much of a short, have a little look, see if I can get a shot in, and at this point I prioritized having a go at the B1. So B1, most hit points, biggest threat in the game at the moment. Taking another shot, about to finish him off when fire, and unfortunately just has the kill stolen from me. I actually miscalculate this one, and the Kehoe gets a good shot into my under Glacius. Enemy T-46 is trying to cap, makes the mistake of trying to hunt for artillery, and once again go for it. Stuart decides to steal the kill. So at this point we're like, right, let's just punch a hole through, pray to the gods that our team noticed the mini-map. Artillery has a go, but misses. I notice Valentine. First shot, I miss on the Chi-Ha. Second shot, I don't. And moving down in towards the town again, try and break towards the middle. First shot, get a lucky clutch on the Panzer 38, and the second shot strikes home and gets the kill. So far, 2 kills. The enemy T-46 is trying to cap, but luckily our team is able to react to it, and also promptly tries to kill him, though not before he destroys our Su-5. So at this point we're trying to chase down the remnants of the enemy team. T-46 is down, and the brave Panzer 1C, who abandoned his comrades earlier, gets his just rewards with a very lucky clutch shot from me. So that's what happens to cowards, ladies and gentlemen. So this game is pretty well for me so far. I've done 865 damage. Our team is completely destroyed. Snake's Day gets a kill, which is awesome. And now we're looking for the scumbag. And I at first thought it was down here, but instead it was the AMX-5. I donk my first shot. He tries to go for another shot. RT misses him. I donk my second shot. He goes for another one. Bang! Not only do I kill him, but I also get an ammo rack. Because that's the best way to insult artillery. I take another hit from enemy forces and whilst typing, and A20, good attempt, but he's kind of showing angling, but not enough for me to be able to defeat him. Not enough for him to be able to defeat my shot. And bang! Another lucky clutch shot. And as we finish off the battle, just about moving up, when the Panzer B2 decides to pull a dick move. I'm not entirely sure, well, at the time I wasn't sure why, but in the comment section down below here, he'll sort of say, you stole my 3 frags. So basically I'm assuming he says, oh, you stole my kill. Whether or not that's really worth going to shoot someone, like, you've had a bit of a goodish game, like, you could have gotten better, but someone stole your kills. Okay, everyone loves kills, but that's not worth sending compensation and making yourself look bad. Anyway, the Chi-He decides to take on our Chi-Ha and beats him. He. Sorry for the bad joke. Anyway, going back into the game. So now our team decides to charge onto him, and as I realise I've nearly got a top gun, I simply wait. I know this is kind of greedy, but I wait, and a 6th kill gets me the top gun. So that was the first game with this thing, and it was freaking awesome. Just another display of how awesome this tank is. This is why she was the first tank that I ever got camouflage on. She was the first tank that I ever got a name on. Generally speaking, as a tier 4 tank destroyer, this thing is close to being my absolute favourite tier 4 tank of all time. She is fast enough, she's manoeuvrable, she's got great armour, and the gun is brilliant. Whether you prefer derps or whether you absolutely adore the same kind of gun that I've got, she is a dream to drive, and I always will love her. So anyway, guys, I'll take you now to the results screen of that game. Here we are victorious. Now, apologies for me having to move it about, but my editor likes to cut out 0 frames per second, so I'll have to move this up slightly down up as well. But anyway, like I was saying, we were victorious. Yep, and as such, we got the top gun, which is fantastic. I often get, I don't know why, but this thing always gives me good results. I just love this thing. In actual fact, that was also my Ace Tanker badge. I think I got that previously before. I think like 1 game ago. So that's pretty awesome. Let's go to the team score. Let's go to the team score. There we go. Obviously, didn't get the most damage. That goes to the Chi-He. But I did get the most experience, which is pretty nice. And I wasn't too far behind the Chi-He. Just a bit. I was only a little bit further behind, but still, pretty awesome game. If a couple of shots hadn't bounced, probably would have done so. But still, pretty fantastic game. So here we are for the second replay of the video. This one was sent in by Bidden War. He is driving a tier 9 heavy Russian tank, the STI, and he is joined in a platoon in this replay by the Siamese Daimyo, who drives the same tank. He is in a tier 10 game on Abbey. A standard match, and here's the replay. So the STI, now I don't own the vehicle, but from numerous engagements with the thing and of also the feedback from my friends, it's a really good tank, I hear. It's very annoying to try and kill, with the fact that the turret covers nearly 2/3 of the actual hull armor and is the most bounciest thing I've seen yet. But let's face it, it's Russian. So the game starts off kind of badly with regards to the team, as no teammates at all decide to, none of the teammates go down into the 9-0 line to help out Bidden War and Silent Daimyo, so they are left on their own, perhaps with potential artillery support, but unlikely. So instead of withdrawing, they decide to shoot a few rounds down range for what I assume is an attempt to spook the opponents who may be potentially pushing down that line into holding back for a bit. So they cautiously move up the road, making sure to take as much cover as possible so that way they don't get surprised by a potential assailant. And so far the engagements have just spotted a number of tanks. Luckily for them at the moment, it seems to be that most of the enemy team are kind of doing the same thing, that the enemy are both pushing down either the middle or the 1-2 line, but regardless, Daimyo and Bidden take cautiously. Bidden angles his armor so he can effectively bounce anything. Slowly but surely pushing up the road. Hopefully not going to bump into anything. I'm afraid I don't. What's the penetration of his gun? 255. So they'll definitely be able to take on tier 10s if they should bump into them. So not entirely sure why he did that. I think he was just trying to see if destructible environments came into play, but unfortunately they haven't been put in yet, Bidden, so just save your rounds. Anyway, they go, and oh shit, there's a T-110E4 who fires a gold shell and the tracks eated. Daimyo takes a shot from the IS-7, but luckily Bidden has been able to take the tracks. He lets his tracks being repaired, and now they're in a duke-off with 2 tier 10 tanks. Bidden angles his armor, and Daimyo gets a nice shot and bounces that T110E4 once again. Bidden throws another shot, bounces and eats the his tracks eat the shell of the IS-7 shot. And so now trying to keep these two guys at bay, whilst backup is on the way, and AMX 1390 and a Foch is en route. However, at the moment they're all just focusing on themselves, hopefully out of the sign of artillery. And Biddenwall making sure his flank is covered. Also trying to remind Daimyo not to get too much in the flank, making sure he's angled properly, making sure, waiting for them to strike, keeping an eye peeled. T110E4 is looking to poke, not quite getting a shot yet, wanting to do something, waiting for one of them to on LRT. He shoots but bounces once again, not having much luck for T110E4. IS-7, I think he fired and missed, so luckily for our team, T110E4 pokes a little bit too wrong, waits for it, and Biddenwall gets a nice shot into the enemy T110E4's cupola, and both of the tier 10s donk their shots. And this is when the T110E4 makes the biggest mistake, tries to turn to angle, or try and turn his turret, fail, Daimyo gets the kill shot, so bad T110E4. He shoots, Daimyo I think takes it on the tracks. IS-7 is now being flanked by the Foch, who arrives as backup. Nice underglacial shot by both Bidden and Daimyo, and the Foch decides to go mano a mano, taking a shot from the IS-7. Bidden tries to get a shot in. Foch gets a nice shot in. Can Bidden get the kill shot? Nope, he bounces. Daimyo once again gets the kill shot. So 2 tier 10 tanks versus 2 tier 9 tanks, and the tier 9s just gave those guys a reason to go back to tutorial sessions. Unfortunately for the rest of the team, it's not looking so optimistic, as most of the team who pushed through the centre have now died, and those on the left-hand side are both being taken on by an IS-8 and an STI. So whilst both Daimyo and Bidden push into the enemy cap, hopefully we can see there's a Leopard PTA in their front. Okay, we're doing. Oh shit! It's a T62A. Bidden fires, hits and tracks him, bouncing a shot in the process. I don't know why the T62 Gold WZ decides to shoot. T62, I don't know why he didn't shoot there, but he just didn't. Takes another ricochet. Tracks eat it once again. Lucky penetrating shot on the T62. Decides to ram it just for good measure. Tries to avoid it. T62 tries to get a flanking shot, fires, donks, and poof. There's another tier 10 tank. T54 is looking, Bidden angles to compensate, but the T54 was prioritizing Daimyo, who now sadly has passed on. Unfortunately, he does take a shot, which is rather nasty, and the Leopard PTA tries to move into position. Bidden preempts, shoots, and he decides to go back the way he came, achieving nothing. Anyway, T54E1 moves into position. Bidden takes a shot, and poof! The Leopard PTA gets ammo racked. Just thought you'd know that, because it was a rather hilarious explosion. So the Leopard PTA is no longer a problem thanks to the Foch, and now all that's left is a T54E1, a T54, and an STI, which is a rather nice turnaround. Bidden has achieved only 1 kill, but 4k in damage. He donks a shot, or clutches a shot, either way. The T54E1 has most definitely reloaded his gun by now, so Bidden takes cover, and treads eat the first one, and so does he eat his treads, and takes another tread shot. T54E1 trying to get around, bounces another shot, perfectly angled, bang. Bidden, I think he shot and bounced off Bidden's rear as well, which is hilarious. The T54E1 trying to escape, firing all of its rounds, desperately trying to get away, thinks walls are safe, but the walls lied to him. So there is this second kill, and over 5k, well 2 points, over 5k damage. Bidden putting in the chat saying, good respect, good game. It was just a pretty good turnaround. Could have easily gone the other way, but luckily the 2 tier 10 tanks were able to fall quite quickly, and thus allowed both Bidden and Daimyo to put pressure on this flank as well. So Bidden is trying to move up into the middle with the WZ to try and outflank the T54, but oh shit, the T54 is in position, he's going to have a rear shot! And he bounced. Now, this situation would have been even better had Bidden not bounced, but unfortunately Bidden caught him on the wrong angle. and bit of good predicting work here, as the T-54 is already withdrawing, WZ-120 charging for the kill, and so Bidden decides to preempt the T-54E1, takes his time, fires, gets a nice shot into the rear of the T-54E1. The STI is now finally dead, and WZ fails to hit, and now Bidden moves into position to try and get a cheeky shot into him. T-54E1, I think, takes a nasty hit, and just as the T-54 escapes, looks like it's going to be an awesome kill, and Bidden fires a bit too early, and no one can get the shot in to get the T-54E1, which is a shame. I think in all personal preference, I would have aimed a little bit later, but, you know, that said, Russian accuracy. Sometimes Stalin goes down from the heavens, guides your shell into the rear of the enemy's ammo rack, or more often than not, it'll just send it in the wrong way. But in a rather startling occurrence, Bidden War tells the Foch to do something, and the Foch actually does what he's told, as well as the WZ-120. This is a rare occurrence indeed. So, a very good turnaround game. Bidden has achieved 5.4 thousand damage points, and has always got 2 kills. So that's pretty good for that one. Now, unfortunately, this game doesn't really do much else, as the artillery decides to move into position, into the cap zone, and unfortunately, that's all we're going to be seeing of the T-54. So, unfortunately, despite the T-54 putting a relatively good effort into it, he decides to cower out and hide for the rest of the game, whilst the remaining tanks look for him and get a cap. So that was a pretty awesome game to watch, and yeah, that was pretty awesome. Those 2 tier 10 tanks though, oh, that must be so embarrassing to get schooled by a tier below you. But anyway, I will see you in the results screen. So in this battle results, you will see many unsurprising things. First of all, unsurprisingly, Bidden War got himself an ace tanker for that match. Another unsurprising fact that he's also got high caliber. And finally, another unsurprising fact that he got steel wall. Damn, that was a good game. He got himself 75,000 credits and over 3,500 experience. So definitely a good game in his STI. Let's have a little look at the team scores. So as you can see, 5,430 damage in the STI. For a tier 9 tank to do that, that's freaking awesome. He also got himself a base experience of 1,342. So that's I've done 5k battles in a tier 9 tank, and I will tell you, they are not easy. He blocks over 3,010. Well, he does those 3,010 damage. English will work for me one day. And that's pretty awesome. So thank you very much, Bidden, for sending this in, and thank you very much, guys, for watching this. I know this isn't what I normally do, but if you like it, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Apologies once again for having to move it, but otherwise the editor will cut it out. If you like this, feel free to let me know in the comment section, in the like section, or in the subscription section. And if you yourself are a YouTuber, or a World of Tanks player, or a World of Tanks player who does YouTube, if there's anything you could do, anything you want me to do, better commentary, different style of tactics, anything to sort of make the next video even better than before, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below as well. Thank you very much for watching this, guys. This is Crab Hunter, signing out.